Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the space station New Horizon. He watched the stars through the big window. The station was huge and round, floating in space like a metal moon. Ships from many different planets came here to talk and trade. Jake was the captain of the human team. He had short brown hair and calm blue eyes. He wore a simple blue uniform with captain marks on his shoulders. Jake had been a soldier before, but now he worked to keep peace between different alien races. The bridge was busy. People worked at their computers and screens. Dr. Lisa Grant sat at her desk, looking at alien language files. She had long red hair and green eyes. She was very smart and could speak many alien languages. Commander Alex Stone stood near the weapons controls. He was tall and strong with gray hair. Alex always worried about keeping everyone safe. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang through the station. Red lights flashed on and off. Jake walked quickly to the main computer screen. "What's happening?" Jake asked. A young officer named Tom looked scared. "Captain, we got a message from the Galactic Council. A ship is coming here. All the alien ambassadors are leaving right now." Jake looked confused. "Leaving? Why? What kind of ship?" Tom's hands shook as he read the message. "The ship has someone called a Voidborn on it. The aliens say she is very dangerous. They say we should run away, too." Dr. Grant looked up from her work. "Voidborn? I have read about them in old books, but I thought they were all dead." Jake walked to the big window. He could see alien ships flying away from the station very fast. The ships looked like they were running from something terrible. Some ships bumped into each other as they tried to escape quickly. "This is strange," Jake said. "Why are they all so scared of one person?" Alex came over to Jake. "Captain, maybe we should listen to them. If all these aliens are afraid, there must be a good reason." Jake shook his head. "No, Alex. I want to know what's going on. One person in a ship cannot be that dangerous. Besides, this is our station too. We have the right to stay." On the computer screen, they could see a small dark ship coming closer. It moved in a strange way, like it was floating through water instead of space. The ship was black and seemed to eat the light around it. Dr. Grant read more files on her computer. "Captain, the old stories say the Voidborn could control dark energy. Other aliens thought they were monsters who destroyed planets. But some books say different things." "What do the other books say?" Jake asked. "Some say the Voidborn were actually good people who helped others. But something bad happened to them long ago. Maybe they were all killed by other aliens who were afraid of their power. The alien ambassadors kept leaving. The station became more and more empty. Jake could see the fear in the aliens' eyes as they ran to their ships. Even the brave warrior clan aliens looked scared. Tom spoke again, his voice quiet. "Captain, the alien ship is asking to dock at Port 7. What should we tell them?" Jake thought for a moment. All around him, his team looked worried. Some officers wanted to leave like the aliens did. But Jake was curious. He wanted to meet this person that everyone feared so much. "Tell them they can dock," Jake said. Alex grabbed Jake's arm. "Captain, are you sure? What if the aliens are right? What if this person really is dangerous?" Jake looked at his old friend. "Alex, humans have always been curious. We explore new places and meet new people. That's what makes us human. I won't run away from someone just because others are afraid." Dr. Grant stood up. "I want to meet her too, Captain. As a scientist, I need to learn the truth about the Voidborn." The dark ship came closer to the station. As it moved, the lights around it seemed to get dimmer. Some of the station's computers started acting strange. Screens flickered on and off. "The ship is docking now," Tom said. He sounded very nervous. Jake straightened his uniform. "Lisa, Alex, come with me. We're going to meet our guest." "Captain," said another officer, "shouldn't we at least get our weapons?" Jake shook his head. "No weapons. If she wanted to hurt us, she could have done it already. We go with open hands and open minds." They walked through the station's long halls. The station felt empty and quiet now that most of the aliens had left. Their footsteps echoed in the metal corridors. Some human workers hid in their rooms, too scared to come out. When they reached the docking bay, they could hear a strange sound. It was like the whisper of wind, but there was no air moving. The lights in the docking bay were dim and kept changing. The doctor of the black ship opened slowly. Dark mist came out of the ship like smoke. In the mist, they could see a tall figure walking toward them. The figure was a woman, but she was not like any human or alien they had seen before. She was very tall, maybe 7 feet. Her skin was pale blue and seemed to glow softly. Her hair was long and white, floating around her head like she was underwater. Her eyes were completely black, like looking into deep space. Around her body, dark energy moved like living shadows. The energy looked beautiful, but also scary. It danced around her arms and legs like it was alive. The woman stopped walking when she saw Jake and his team. She looked surprised. She probably expected to find an empty station. Jake stepped forward. He was scared, but he didn't show it. "Welcome to New Horizons Station. I am Captain Jake Morrison of Earth." The woman stared at him with her black eyes. She spoke in a voice that sounded like music mixed with sadness. "You did not run away. Why did you not run like the others?" "Because we're curious," Jake said with a small smile. "We want to learn about you, not fear you." For the first time in many years, the woman who was called Voidborn felt something she had almost forgotten. She felt hope. The woman with black eyes looked at Jake for a long time. She seemed to be thinking about what he said. The dark energy around her moved more slowly now, like calm water. "My name is Zarathi," she said. Her voice was soft but sad. "I am the last of my people, the Voidborn. For many years I have traveled alone in the cold space between stars." Jake noticed that Zarathi looked very tired. Her pale blue skin was too thin, and she moved like someone who was hurt. Dr. Grant saw this too and stepped closer. "Are you injured?" Dr. Grant asked kindly. "Do you need medical help?" Zarathi looked surprised again. You want to help me, but I am Voidborn. All others fear us. They say we bring death and darkness." "We're not all others," Jake said. "We're humans. We make our own decisions about people." Alex still looked worried, but he saw that Zarathi was not attacking them. She seemed more sad than dangerous. "Captain, maybe we should take her to the medical bay." Dr. Grant nodded. "Yes, I can run some tests to see if she's okay. But first, we need to understand how to help her safely." Zarathi raised one hand. The dark energy around her hand grew thicker. "Be careful. My energy is hard to control when I am weak. It might hurt your machines." "That's okay," Jake said. "Machines can be fixed. People are more important." They walked slowly through the station to the medical bay. As they moved, the lights around them became dim. Some computer screens went black, but Jake's team didn't seem afraid. They kept talking to Zarathi in friendly voices. "How long have you been traveling alone?" Dr. Grant asked. More than 300 of your years, Zarathi answered. I hide in empty space where no one goes. I only come to stations when I need food or supplies. 300 years, Alex said with shock. How old are you? I have lived for 800 years. My people live much longer than yours, but now I am the only one left. In the medical bay, Dr. Grant used her tools to check Zarathi's health. The dark energy made some machines stop working, but Dr. Grant was smart. She found other ways to help. You're very sick, Dr. Grant said with worry. You haven't eaten enough food for a long time. Your body is using its own energy to stay alive. Zarathi sat on the medical bed. She looked very small and tired even, though she was tall. I cannot stay in one place long. When others find me, they try to kill me. I must always move. Jake sat in a chair next to her. Why do they want to kill you? What did your people do? Zarathi's black eyes filled with sadness. My people did nothing wrong. We were peaceful. We used our power over dark energy to help others. We made safe paths through dangerous space. We protected ships from cosmic storms. Then why do all the aliens fear you? Alex asked. Because of lies, Zarathi said. Her voice became angry. A group of strong alien races called the Hegemony told everyone that we were evil. They said we destroyed planets and killed millions. But it was not true. Dr. Grant gave Zarathi some medicine and food. Why would they lie about your people? They were afraid of our power. The Hegemony wanted to control all space travel. But with our help, smaller races could travel safely without needing the Hegemony. So they decided to destroy us. Jake felt angry when he heard this. They killed your whole race because they were jealous? Yes. They brought together many alien fleets. They hunted us across the galaxy. They found our home world and destroyed it. Most of my people died fighting. A few of us escaped, but the Hegemony kept hunting us. One by one, they found and killed us all. Except you, Dr. Grant said softly. Except me. I have been running and hiding ever since. I tried to tell the truth to other races, but no one would listen. They all believed the Hegemony's lies. Alex looked at the computer screens around them. Half of them were not working because of Zarathi's energy. Is it true that your power is dangerous? Zarathi looked at her hands. The dark energy danced around her fingers. Yes and no. I can use dark energy to destroy things, but that is not what it is for. Watch. She pointed at a broken screen. The dark energy flowed from her hand to the machine. Instead of breaking it more, the energy fixed it. The screen turned on and worked perfectly. Amazing, Dr. Grant said. You can control matter at the atomic level. I can do many things, Zarathi said. I can make things, fix things, or destroy things. I can open doorways through space. I can protect ships from radiation and gravity wells. My people use these gifts to help others explore the galaxy safely. Jake stood up. Zarathi, you don't have to run anymore. You can stay here with us. Zarathi shook her head. No, Jake Morrison. If I stay, the Hegemony will come for me. They will destroy this station and kill all of you. I cannot let that happen. Let us worry about that, Jake said with a smile. Humans are good at protecting our friends. Friends? Zarathi looked confused. You call me friend? But you have only known me for 1 hour. Dr. Grant smiled too. Humans make friends quickly, especially when we meet someone who needs help. Alex nodded. The captain is right. We won't let anyone hurt you while you're here. For the first time in centuries, Zarathi felt something warm in her heart. She had forgotten what it felt like, to have people care about her. But then the station's alarm rang again. Tom's voice came through the speakers. "Captain Morrison, please come to the bridge right away. We have big trouble coming." Jake looked at Zarathi. "What kind of trouble?" Zarathi's black eyes became wide with fear. "They found me. The hegemony is coming." On the main screen of the bridge, they could see many large warships coming toward the station. The ships were huge and covered with weapons. There were more ships than Jake had ever seen in one place. "How many ships?" Jake asked Tom. 50 warships, Captain. Maybe more coming." Alex checked the weapons. "Captain, we only have 12 human ships here. We can't fight all of them." Jake looked at Zarathi. She looked ready to run away again, but then he put his hand on her shoulder. "We're not running," Jake said, "and we're not giving you to them." "But they will kill you all," Zarathi said. Jake smiled. "Maybe, but humans don't abandon their friends. We'll find another way." Dr. Grant looked at her computer. "Captain, I'm reading something strange. The hegemony ships are not the only things out there. There's something else hiding in deep space. Something much bigger and more dangerous." Zarathi's face went white. "Oh no. They're here too." "Who's here?" Jake asked. "The real enemy. The ones my people tried to warn everyone about before we died. The Devourers are coming." The hegemony warships came closer to the station. They were big and black, with sharp edges that looked like teeth. Red lights flashed on their hulls like angry eyes. The ships moved in perfect lines, showing their military training. Jake stood on the bridge, watching the enemy fleet. Zarathi stood beside him, her dark energy moving faster around her body. She looked very scared. "Jake Morrison," she said quietly, "you must let me go to them. If you give me to the hegemony, they might not hurt your people." "No," Jake said firmly. "We don't trade our friends for safety." Alex came over to them. "Captain, the lead ship is asking to talk with us." "Put them on the main screen," Jake ordered. The screen showed the bridge of the hegemony flagship. A large alien sat in the captain's chair. He looked like a giant lizard with red scales and yellow eyes. He wore a black uniform with many medals. His mouth was full of sharp teeth. "I am Admiral Corax of the Draconis Empire," the alien said in a deep, scary voice. "You are harboring a dangerous criminal. Give us the Voidborn, and we will let you." "Live!" Jake stepped forward so the alien could see him clearly. "I am Captain Jake Morrison of Earth. The person you're looking for is under human protection. She has done nothing wrong." Admiral Corax laughed, but it sounded more like a growl. "Nothing wrong? The Voidborn are destroyers of worlds. They killed billions of innocent people. They must all die." "That's not true," Dr. Grant said, moving next to Jake. "We've studied the historical records. The Voidborn were peaceful. They helped other races travel safely through space." "You believe the lies of a monster," Admiral Corax said angrily. "The Voidborn use their dark powers to trick weak minds. Give her to us now, or we will take her by force." Zarathi stepped forward. The Admiral's eyes went wide when he saw her. Even through the screen, he looked afraid. "Admiral Corax," Zarathi said sadly, "you know the truth. Your grandfather was there when the hegemony destroyed my world. He knew we were not evil. But your people chose to believe lies because you wanted our power for yourselves." Admiral Corax's face became red with anger. "Silence, monster! Your people were a disease in the galaxy. We did what was necessary to protect everyone. Protect them from what? Jake asked. From people who could help them travel safely. From people who could fix their broken ships and protect them from cosmic storms? You do not understand, human, Admiral Corax said. The Voidborn's power is too dangerous. No one should control dark energy. Dr. Grant had been working on her computer while they talked. Now she looked up with shock. Captain, I found something important. The old records show that the Voidborn tried to warn the galaxy about something they called the Devourers. Zarathi nodded sadly. Yes, my people discovered them at the edge of the galaxy. They eat reality itself. They turn planets and stars into nothing. Only dark energy can stop them. Admiral Corax looked confused for a moment, then angry again. More lies! You try to scare us with stories of imaginary monsters. They're not imaginary, Dr. Grant said, looking at her readings. I'm detecting strange energy signatures beyond the outer planets. Something big is hiding out there. Jake looked at Zarathi. The Devourers are here now? Yes, Zarathi whispered. I came here to warn everyone. That's why I left my hiding place. But no one will listen to me because of the lies the hegemony told. Admiral Corax cut off the communication. On the screen, they could see the hegemony ships getting ready to attack. Red alert, Jake ordered. All human ships, prepare for battle. Alex ran to the weapons controls. Captain, our ships are moving into position, but we're badly outnumbered. More alien ships arrived to help the hegemony. The warrior clan came with their spiked warships. The Tech Union brought ships covered with energy weapons. Even some races that usually stayed neutral joined the fleet against Zarathi. Why are they all here? Jake asked. Because they're all afraid, Zarathi said. Fear makes people do terrible things. The hegemony has had 800 years to spread their lies about my people. Tom looked up from his computer. Captain, I count over 100 enemy ships now. More are coming. Jake felt worried, but he didn't show it. He had been in many battles before. Humans were good at fighting against bad odds. Alex, tell our ships to stay close to the station. We'll use the station's weapons too. Yes, sir. Dr. Grant kept working on her computer. Jake, look at this. I'm detecting massive gravity distortions in the outer system. Something very big is moving out there. On her screen, they could see strange readings. Space itself seemed to be bending and twisting in some areas. Zarathi looked at the readings and her face went pale. They're coming. The Devourers have found this system. Suddenly, the space near the outer planets began to turn black. It was not the black of empty space, but a black that seemed to eat light itself. Stars disappeared as the blackness spread. What is that? Alex asked with fear. The Devourers, Zarathi said. They consume reality. Everything they touch stops existing. The hegemony fleet saw the strange blackness too. Some of their ships turned away from the station to look at the new threat. Admiral Corax appeared on the screen again. He looked confused and scared. What is happening? What is that darkness? That is what my people tried to warn you about, Zarathi said. The real enemy. The ones who will destroy everything if we don't work together. Jake saw his chance. Admiral, we can fight each other and all die, or we can work together against the real threat. Never, Admiral Corax said. We will not trust a Voidborn. We will destroy the darkness with our weapons. Some hegemony ships fired their biggest guns at the spreading blackness. The energy beams hit the dark area and simply disappeared. The blackness kept growing. Your weapons cannot hurt them, Zarathi said. Only dark energy can fight the Devourers. That's why my people had this power. We were meant to protect the galaxy. More ships fired at the blackness. Nothing worked. The Devourers kept consuming space, moving slowly toward the inner planets. Dr. Grant looked at her readings again. Jake, whatever those things are, they're huge. Much bigger than planets, and they're definitely alive. How do we fight them? Jake asked Zarathi. Together, she said. But first, the other races must stop believing the lies about my people. They must trust me to teach them. Jake looked at the hegemony fleet, then at the growing darkness that was eating the stars. He made a decision that would change everything. Open. A channel to all ships, he ordered. Channel open, Captain. Jake spoke to every ship in the area, both human and alien. This is Captain Jake Morrison. I'm offering a temporary ceasefire. We have a bigger problem than our differences. If we keep fighting each other, we'll all be dead in a few hours. Some alien ships stopped charging their weapons. Others kept them ready. Admiral Corax appeared on the screen one more time. You ask us to trust our greatest enemy. I ask you to open your eyes, Jake said. Your greatest enemy is out there, eating the stars. Zarathi is your only hope of survival. The Admiral looked at the spreading darkness, then at Zarathi. For the first time, doubt appeared in his yellow eyes, but before he could answer, the blackness moved faster. It reached the first planet in the system. In seconds, the entire world simply stopped existing. Not destroyed, not broken apart, just gone. As if it had never been there at all. All the ships, human and alien alike, watched in horror as an entire planet disappeared. By the gods, Admiral Corax whispered. What have we done? The disappearance of the planet shocked everyone. All the ships in the area stopped moving. Even the bravest alien warriors stared at the empty space where a world used to be. Jake felt cold fear in his stomach, but he forced himself to stay calm. Zarathi, can you really fight those things? Zarathi nodded, but she looked very tired. Yes, but I am weak from running and hiding for so long, and I am only one person. To fight the Devourers properly, I need help. Dr. Grant looked up from her computer. The blackness is moving toward the next planet. We have maybe 2 hours before it gets there. Admiral Corax appeared on the screen again. His lizard face looked scared and confused. Voidborn, if you can truly fight this darkness, then do it now. I told you. I need help, Zarathi said. I must teach others to use dark energy. But that takes time, and people must trust me. How do we know you're not working with these Devourers? Asked Captain Vex, a blue-skinned alien from the Tech Union. Maybe this is all a trick. Jake stepped forward. Because she's been trying to warn us. Dr. Grant, show them the old records. Dr. Grant put information on the main screen for all ships to see. These are historical files from 800 years ago. They show void-born ships trying to contact the Galactic Council. They sent messages about a threat from beyond the galaxy, the E. Information showed message after message from void-born ships. All of them tried to warn about something called the Devourers. All of them were ignored or attacked. The Voidborn tried to save everyone, Dr. Grant continued. But instead of listening, the hegemony declared war on them. Admiral Corax looked at the files. His face showed that he was starting to understand. These records, they are real? Yes, said Dr. Grant. Your own ship sent some of these reports. Your grandfather, Admiral Corax I, knew the truth, but he chose to follow orders instead of doing what was right. Zarathi looked sadly at the Admiral. Your grandfather was a good warrior. He cried when he destroyed our ships, but he believed the leaders who said we were evil. The leaders lied, Admiral Corax said quietly. They lied to all of us. Another planet began to disappear at the edge of the system. This time, they could see it happening slowly. The world turned gray, then transparent, then was gone. We're running out of time, Jake said. Zarathi, what do you need us to do? I need to teach some of you to use dark energy, she said. But it is dangerous. The energy can hurt or kill people who are not ready. Jake didn't hesitate. Teach me first. Jake, no, Alex said with worry. What if something goes wrong? Then someone else will try after me, Jake said simply. We can't win this by being safe. Dr. Grant stepped forward too. I want to learn as well. As a scientist, I might understand the energy better. Admiral Corax surprised everyone by speaking. I will also try. If the Voidborn can teach a Draconis warrior, it will prove to my people that she can be trusted. More alien captains volunteered. Captain Vex from the Tech Union, Commander Thale from the Warrior Clan, and others. They were all scared, but they knew they had no choice. Zarathi looked around at all the volunteers with amazement. For 800 years, no one would even speak to me. Now you want me to teach you our most sacred knowledge. Times change, Jake said with a small smile. Sometimes it takes a big crisis to make people see the truth. They moved to the station's main meeting room. Zarathi stood in the center while the volunteers sat around her. The dark energy around her body grew brighter. Close your eyes, Zarathi said. Feel the space around you. Dark energy is everywhere, but most people cannot sense it. Jake closed his eyes and tried to feel what she meant. At first there was nothing. Then, slowly, he began to sense something strange. It felt like cold wind that wasn't really there. I feel something, Dr. Grant said with excitement. Good, Zarathi said. Now try to touch it with your mind, but be very careful. Too much, too fast, and it will hurt you. Jake reached out with his thoughts. The dark energy felt alive and dangerous. When he touched it, electricity ran through his whole body. Admiral, Corax tried too hard and fell down with pain. It burns, he said. Slowly, Zarathi warned. The energy must be respected, not forced. Dr. Grant was the first to succeed. A tiny bit of dark energy appeared around her hand. It was small, but it was there. Amazing, she whispered. I can feel how it works. It doesn't destroy matter. It changes how space and time work around matter. Yes, Zarathi said proudly. You understand quickly. Jake kept trying. After many minutes, he managed to make a small ball of dark energy appear in his palm. It felt heavy and light at the same time. Now comes the hard part, Zarathi said. You must learn to use the energy as a weapon against the Devourers. She showed them how to shape the dark energy into different forms, how to make barriers that could stop the Devourers from consuming things, how to create weapons that could hurt the creatures. But learning was slow and time was running out. The blackness had consumed 3 planets now and was moving toward the populated worlds of the inner system. Tom's voice came through the speakers. Captain, we're getting reports from the inner planets. Millions of people are trying to evacuate, but there aren't enough ships. Jake felt frustrated. They were learning, but not fast enough. Zarathi, there has to be a faster way. Zarathi thought for a moment. There is one way, but it is very dangerous. I can share my energy directly with all of you at once. You will learn much faster, but the shock might kill some of you. Do it, Jake said immediately. Jake, no, Dr. Grant said. She just said it. Might kill us. And if we don't try, those millions of people will definitely die, Jake replied. We have to risk it. Admiral Corax stood up. The human is right. Better to die trying than to die doing nothing, the other volunteers agreed. They all knew the risk, but they also knew what would happen if they failed. Zarathi moved to the center of the room. Join hands in a circle around me. When I release my energy, hold on to each other no matter what happens. They formed a circle, holding hands tightly. Jake could feel everyone's fear, but also their determination. Are you ready? Zarathi asked. Ready? Jake said for all of them. Zarathi closed her black eyes and let all her power flow out at once. Dark energy exploded from her body like a storm. It hit all the volunteers at the same time. Pain shot through Jake's body like lightning. He felt like his mind was being torn apart and put back together. Beside him, Admiral Corax screamed. Dr. Grant fell to her knees but held on to the circle. Knowledge flooded into Jake's mind. He suddenly understood how dark energy worked, how to control it, how to fight the Devourers. But the information came so fast it felt like his brain might explode. Some of the volunteers let go of the circle and collapsed. But Jake, Dr. Grant, Admiral Corax, and a few others held on until the energy transfer was complete. When it was over, they all lay on the floor, breathing hard. Zarathi had fallen unconscious from using so much power, but Jake could feel it. Dark energy flowed around his body like it had always been there. He stood up and created a sword made of pure, dark energy. It glowed with purple light and hummed with power. Did it work? Dr. Grant asked weakly. She tried to stand and managed to create a shield of dark energy around herself. Admiral Corax got up and roared. Dark energy covered his whole body like armor. It worked! I can feel the power! The others who had survived the transfer also had new abilities. They were no longer just aliens and humans. They were something new. Beings who could fight the Devourers. But they were still only a few people against an army of reality-eating monsters. Tom's voice came through the speakers again, but this time he sounded terrified. Captain, the Devourers have reached the 4th planet. And, sir, they're not just eating the planets anymore. They're making themselves into something bigger. Something much, much worse. Jake ran to the bridge with the other volunteers who had learned to use dark energy. His body still hurt from the energy transfer, but he could feel the new power flowing through him. Behind him, Admiral Corax and Dr. Grant moved with the same urgent purpose. On the main screen, they could see something horrible happening in space. The Devourers had consumed 4 planets, but now they were using the matter to build something new. A massive creature was taking shape, bigger than any moon. By the gods, Admiral Corax whispered. What is that thing? Zarathi had woken up and came to the bridge, though she could barely walk. It's a harvester, she said weakly. When Devourers eat enough matter, they can create these creatures. One harvester can consume an entire star system in hours. The thing on the screen looked like a giant jellyfish made of black energy and consumed matter. It had thousands of tentacles that reached out to grab asteroids and small moons. Everything it touched simply stopped existing. Tom looked terrified at his computer. Captain, it's moving toward the populated worlds. Planet Kepler 7 has 8 billion people on it. Jake felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. 8 billion lives depended on what they did next. All ships, this is Captain Morrison. Jake spoke to the combined fleet. We're going to attack that creature. Those who have learned dark energy manipulation will lead the attack. Everyone else will provide support. Wait, said Captain Vex from the Tech Union. How do we know this will work? None of us have ever fought something like this before. Dr. Grant stepped forward. Because we have something the Devourers have never faced before. Cooperation between species. They're used to fighting one race at a time. Zarathi nodded. My people fought alone and lost, but together we might be strong enough. Admiral Corax looked at his fleet, then at the human ships, then at Zarathi. For 800 years, my people believed lies. Today, we fight for truth. He turned to his ships. All Draconis vessels, you will follow the Voidborn's lead. Anyone who refuses will answer to me personally. One by one, the other alien captains agreed to work together. Some were still scared of Zarathi, but they were more scared of the Harvester. Here's the plan, Jake said, dark energy crackling around his hands. We'll split into 3 groups. Admiral Corax will take the left flank with the Draconis ships. Captain Vex will take the right with the Tech Union. I'll lead the center attack with the human ships and anyone else who can use dark energy. What about me? Zarathi asked. Jake looked at her with concern. She was still very weak from sharing her power. You need to rest. You've done enough. No, Zarathi said firmly. This is what my people died for. I will not hide while others fight our ancient enemy. The combined fleet moved toward the Harvester. As they got closer, they could see how truly massive it was. The creature was the size of a small planet, and its tentacles were longer than most spaceships. Stay in formation, Jake ordered. Don't let those tentacles touch you. The Harvester noticed the approaching ships. It turned toward them, and they could see what looked like a face made of consumed stars. It opened a mouth full of black teeth and roared. The sound traveled through space itself, making all the ship hulls vibrate. "Attack!" Jake shouted. The human ships fired their regular weapons first. The energy beams hit the Harvester but did no damage. The creature's skin absorbed the energy and grew brighter. "Regular weapons don't work," Alex reported. "Only dark energy." Jake flew his fighter ship straight at the Harvester. Dark energy flowed around his ship like purple fire. When he fired the dark energy weapons, they actually hurt the creature. Where the energy hit, the Harvester's skin became gray and started to dissolve. Admiral Corax followed Jake's lead. His ships fired dark energy blasts that looked like dragon breath. Dr. Grant used her fighter to create barriers that protected other ships from the Harvester's tentacles, but the creature was learning. It began to move its tentacles in complex patterns, creating traps for the smaller ships. 3 alien fighters got caught and disappeared instantly. "We need to hit it all at once," Zarathi said through the radio. "A coordinated attack on its core." "Where's the core?" Jake asked, dodging a massive tentacle. "In the center of its body, but we have to break through its defenses first." The battle became more intense. The Harvester grabbed a Draconis cruiser with one tentacle and started to consume it. Admiral Corax roared with anger and flew his ship directly at the creature's face, firing everything he had. "Admiral, pull back!" Jake shouted. But it was too late. The Harvester caught Admiral Corax's ship, but instead of being consumed, the Admiral did something that surprised everyone. He used his dark energy to explode his own ship from the inside, hurting the creature and escaping in a small pod. "Ha!" Admiral Corax laughed through the radio. "Try to eat that monster." The explosion created a weak spot in the Harvester's defenses. Dr. Grant saw the opportunity. "Jake, there! The armor is cracked!" Jake gathered all his remaining strength and created the biggest ball of dark energy he could manage. But as he prepared to fire, he realized it wouldn't be enough. The creature was too big, too strong. Then Zarathi appeared beside his ship in her own fighter. But she wasn't flying normally. Dark energy surrounded her entire ship, making it glow like a star. "Zarathi, what are you doing?" Jake asked. "What my people should have done 800 years ago," she replied. "I'm going to save everyone." Before Jake could stop her, Zarathi flew her ship straight into the crack in the harvester's armor. She disappeared inside the creature's body. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the harvester began to shake and scream. Cracks of purple light appeared all over its body. "She's attacking it from the inside," Dr. Grant said with amazement and fear. The creature tried to close the crack, but Zarathi's energy was spreading through its entire body like poison. The harvester's tentacles stopped moving. Its face began to dissolve. Through the radio, they could hear Zarathi's voice, getting weaker. "Jake. Morrison. The others are coming. More harvesters. Beyond the galaxy edge. You must be ready." "Zarathi, get out of there," Jake shouted. "Cannot. Too late for me, but not too late. For Galaxy. Tell them. Voidborn were never the enemy. We were the Guardians." The harvester exploded in a blast of purple light. The explosion was so bright that all the ships had to turn away. When the light faded, the creature was gone. So was Zarathi. Jake felt tears in his eyes. In just one day, he had gained a friend and lost her again. But there was no time to grieve. Dr. Grant's instruments showed more dark shapes moving at the galaxy's edge. More harvesters were coming. "All ships," Jake said into the radio. "This is only the beginning. We've won one battle, but the war isn't over." Admiral Corax, now in a rescue ship, appeared on the screen. "What do we do now, Captain Morrison?" Jake looked at the mixed fleet of human and alien ships. They had worked together and won. That gave him an idea. "We do what Zarathi wanted. We teach others to use dark energy. We prepare the galaxy for what's coming. And we make sure no one ever lies about the Voidborn again." Over the following months, Jake became the leader of a new organization called the Void Guard. Humans and aliens worked together to learn dark energy manipulation. Dr. Grant opened schools to teach the new science. Admiral Corax helped bring former enemies together as allies. The galaxy slowly learned the truth about the Voidborn. Monuments were built to honor them, including a special one for Zarathi at New Horizons Station. When the next wave of harvesters came 6 months later, the galaxy was ready. Thousands of ships with dark energy weapons met them at the galaxy's edge. The battle was hard, but they won. Jake stood on the bridge of his new ship, the Zarathi, watching the last harvester retreat into deep space. Around him, human and alien crew members worked together like they had been doing it all their lives. "Captain," Dr. Grant said, "we're getting reports from all sectors. The harvesters are retreating beyond the galactic barrier." "Good," Jake said, "but stay alert. They'll be back someday." Alex, now his first officer, smiled. "When they do come back, they'll find a united galaxy waiting for them." Jake nodded and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, beyond the galaxy's edge, more threats waited. But he wasn't worried anymore. Zarathi had taught them the most important lesson of all. When different people worked together, they could overcome any enemy. The galaxy was safe, and it would stay safe as long as beings remembered what one lonely void-born and one curious human had shown them. Fear divides, but courage unites. And together, nothing was impossible. In the quiet of space, Jake thought he could almost hear Zarathi's voice on the cosmic wind, telling him that her people could finally rest in peace. Their sacrifice had not been in vain. The galaxy was protected, and it always would be, as long as there were those brave enough to stand together against the darkness. The Void Guard grew stronger every year, with humans at its heart, bringing, together, species that had never trusted each other before. It was humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy. Not superior weapons or technology, but the simple courage to see past fear and find friendship in the most unlikely places. And in the and that made all the difference.